This gentleman, which I would like you to see, is a Zimbabwean. He is a genius who has invented a device that is used for running our cars without fuel. What it means that using the device that Chikumbutso has invented, we can drive our cars without fuel. We can drive our cars without fuel. This is a great discovery ever made on Earth. And this is the first of its kind. It has never been discovered anywhere else in the world. It's only in Zimbabwe by Chikumbutso. So what I'm trying to say is, what are we doing to support this young man? He's a genius Zimbabwean. Now cars can be operated without fuel. I think without fuel, without battery, the device that this gentleman has come up with can allow you to drive a cars without those. Are we not happy as Africans that we have a genius like him? Are we demanding his device so that we can run our cars in Africa without fuel? What African governments are doing in order to support this gentleman? And what is Zimbabwe doing in order to make sure that his gadget is everywhere in Zimbabwe and people are driving cars with that, using that gadget, so we cannot depend on fuel anymore? Let us collapse the business of fuel because it has killed the economies of Africa. Importing fuel every day, it's not good, it's not healthy for the economy of Africa. That's why the economy of Africa has been collapsing, because we heavily depend on the imports of fuel in order to do our businesses in Africa. And fuel is very expensive because we buy it in dollars, and how much? And we don't have dollars enough because we don't produce enough to export. And so the little dollar that we have borrowed, we're also spending it for fuel in Africa. And this is killing the economy. But now, this is the good news. Our own brother in Africa has come up with a discovery, which is a device that has been invented by him, which allows us to drive cars without fuel. And he's working together with a Chinese company, which is able to manufacture cars that are going to be used, that are going to use his device, and they're already being manufactured, and they are everywhere in Zimbabwe now. But as African people, what are we doing to support him? What are we doing to work together with him? Zimbabwe must be rich by now because of this kind of discovery, because it's no longer going to be a requirement for people to have fuel to run their cars or just be using. Do you know fuel is very expensive to run your car using fuel? If you're driving, let's say in Malawi, you have got a car, you may be fine, you may know that in a day, if you want to drive around the city, you're spending 10,000, 20,000 Malawi every day just to drive within the city. But do you know that your family has no food, but your car is able to take money from you? Now imagine there is this kind of advantage. No longer should we need fuel to drive our cars. What we need is just a device from Chikumbutso. And if we use this device, we can drive freely without fuel within the country, in Malawi. That's an achievement. That's success in Africa. What are we doing to support the gentleman? What are we doing in Africa to make sure that this device of Madaritso, of Chikumbutso, is everywhere? Okay, his name is Maxwell Chikumbutso. So if I was saying Madaritso, I was just making mistakes, but his name is Maxwell Chikumbutso. I think that's his name. Right? So what I'm saying is that you can see the cars that are like, there are good cars that do use the device, right? And this is special. Of course, I know that there are challenges about getting authenticity of his scientific discovery from those people who are manning, who are the authorities of science. So if you have got any discovery, if you cannot prove it scientifically, they're not going to accept you. So they cannot, they call it trademark or whatever. They will never recognize your discovery, and this has been battled. So Maxwell's discovery has never been recognized by this science body, international science body. Don't know where, maybe it's in America. You see, they try to block you. They don't want you to be known as the genius because you're black. They do like this most of the times whenever there is a black person who has invented something. But if it was a white man, his discovery, his device would have been already accepted and proved and utilized to be used worldwide. But now they have stopped it. But we can use it in Africa. We can use it in Zimbabwe. Thanks to the government of Zimbabwe, because they are now supporting him. The president, Namangwagwa, was with him when they were launching this device in Zimbabwe. And now they should open up assembly points in Zimbabwe. And in fact, they should be selling cars now. People should be buying cars and devices that are using this kind of. I think the best thing is just have cars assembled in Zimbabwe that will be using his devices, and they can be supplying those cars in Africa. Maybe you can start with Zimbabwe and the Southern Africa. We are going to buy your car, your device, or if it is a car that is already connected device, we're going to buy, and we will be happy in Africa to be using your device. We say buy to fuel. Fuel has been destroying the economies in Africa. We have been importing fuel, and the people who export fuel to Africa, they are so rich. Right? The countries who are exporting fuel to Africa, they're so rich, and actually we need to buy fuel in dollars because that's how they control us. And we don't have dollars, so what we need is just to work very hard in order to get a dollar from America in order to buy fuel and the other things that we import in Africa. But if we cut the cost of fuel in Africa, we are good. We are good to become prosperous. We are good to become very rich. Because fuel takes much money from us. And it takes dollars. It doesn't take our local currencies, but dollars. This is disastrous to the economies of Africa. So Chikumbutso, we are happy with you, the genius of Africa. And I think Africa now, let's support him. Let's work together with him. We can make Africa better, and we can develop Africa. We just need to work together. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel, like my video, and do not forget to click the button. Be with me, Hanleck on Hanleck TV. Bye-bye.